Hey everybody, welcome to Madden Science. Today we're learning about DIY, do-it-yourself sleds. So I guess maybe this is more Madden sports science. Today we're covering how to make and why to make your very own sled for pushing and pulling. Sleds are all the rage these days. Just take a look on Instagram and type in sled push, and you'll see it everywhere. Everybody's doing it. And as humans, we've been doing it forever. Pushing and pulling and carrying. This stuff is part of who we are and what we do. And in our modern times, it can provide exceptional benefits for training and longevity. It's functional and a full body workout. It taxes your muscles and your heart and lungs. It can be really challenging or totally scalable. It's a great warm-up exercise, and it can also be the main course. You can use it for building power and endurance, potential benefits for older populations and aging athletes. The list goes on, including some science that says you won't really get that sore from doing it because it's mostly a concentric exercise and not an eccentric movement. Now, if you look back to our friends on Instagram, what do you notice? They're doing all the same thing. They've got expensive sleds at gyms and mostly inside. What I have for you is pretty much the exact opposite. It's cheap or maybe free. You do it at home and you do it outside. Now, I built this sled at the start of the pandemic and during quarantine. And I even built a more portable one shortly after that I can fit and take in my car. But this started all the way back when I was a kid battling my siblings and my dad in the world's strongest Madden competition. We had all sorts of fun world's strongest man events. You know, backstop climbs, tire throws, negative 20-degree jungle gym hangs, propane tank 90-degree arm holds. But the classic event for us was always the car push. All right, we're living the car dream, car pushing. Let's go. It's been a while. Did I ever tell you about the time? Yeah, Brooks. Time in high school or maybe college when we challenged my dad to this. Oh boy. And so the three of us, the three boys, keep going. Here comes a car. So the three of us had a contest who could push the car from the stop sign to the mailbox the fastest. And our times were something like Pat at 1:20, Dan at 1:10, and I got a minute. And we were just absolutely dead after pushing the car. Same car, as a matter of fact, Toyota Camry. And we convinced my dad to come out and do it. And he basically ran with the car like Fred Flintstone. And he got 30 seconds, twice as fast as any of us. Legend. I thought you should know this story and also see that he's still doing it. Here he is pulling the sled in his late 70s. If you peek back at our friends on Instagram, you'll see lots of fancy, expensive sleds and gyms. But you know what you won't see? This bad boy. It's equally good and maybe better. And here's how you make it. Step one is to get a tire. Now, most places you can get a tire for free. I just called up a local tire store, went over and picked one up. You may want one that's bigger or smaller depending on your needs. You'll also need some kind of strap. Now, here's where a little bit of unexpected came in. I did not realize that most tires these days have lots of metal in between. So I took a drill, drilled a hole through it, and looped the strap. Now, you could use some rope, you could use some webbing, you could use a daisy chain, or in this case, one of these things is from a hammock. So fill this in through here, and you're almost done. You could basically pull on this if you needed to. Then I looked at putting in concrete or maybe some wood, and I realized that an old Bosu ball that my father-in-law had given us fits just perfect. And you're ready to go. So take this, grab yourself some straps. You could use, you could use a dip belt attached to a chain for a reverse, or something like a TRX or suspension trainer to pull on it. Now, you're probably going to want to add some weight. So start off low and build up incrementally. What I'll usually use is 45-pound weight. This will be a good starting point, and you can build from there. 45 plus a 25, and this will depend on conditions. You can also walk backwards with the use of a belt, or you can walk backwards and pull on the straps. You can go forwards and you can go sideways. Really, your options are limitless. If you didn't have a Bosu ball or something similar, you could easily fashion out of wood some kind of support to lay your weights on, or dumbbells on, or your children, or bags of sand or dirt, or rocks, or bricks, or cinder blocks. Now, I also want to build a more portable one. So this is terrific for out in front of the house. You can work on different surfaces, but I wanted one that I could more easily carry in my car to then, say after school, head to a park, pull the sled, drag the sled, and then go pick up the kids at daycare. So I built this guy. And what do you need for this? You'll need some wood, some screws, some kind of attachment. Again, you can use a daisy chain to be perfect, same straps. But in this case, I wanted to use something that I would already be bringing with me, which would be some portable dumbbells and adjustable dumbbells. So that can sit on there. You can put a second one on the back. So those fit just perfect, and you're ready to go. Same idea, totally scalable. These are 100 pounds. You could go from 0 pounds, you could set a kit on there, dirt, sand, bricks, whatever. You can go to 100 or even more if you stacked above this. One thing I found is that friction is really important. So when it's just wood on pavement or cement or blacktop doesn't provide enough friction. So I drilled onto that, screwed onto the bottom some horse stall mats. That gives me pretty much the same amount of friction that I get with the regular tire. Why build your own sled? The pros are many. It's fun, it's challenging, it trains like everything. It's pretty cheap or free. You can do it outside. You got variable modes. You can change up the weight, the angles at which you pull, the lengths, the directions. You can go forwards, backwards, sideways. It's durable. It's going to last pretty much forever. Again, scalable, not just in weight, but in approach and time, sets and reps, distances. You can use your friends, your kids. And if you want even more spice, go ahead and put on a backpack with some weights in it. Makes it even harder. Another great advantage of this is it's neighborly. I can't tell you how many people in the neighborhood have stopped. Well, how many people have looked at me weird and funny as they drive by, but also a number of people have stopped and tried it themselves. You can work out with your family and kids. You can do it anywhere on different surfaces. As for the cons, there's very few, right? Your neighbors may look at you funny or people driving by, and there's some setup time that you wouldn't have necessarily in the gym. There's a lot of science involved in sleds. Obviously, the biomechanic aspects of your body, but also the straight physics components. Reminds me of one of my favorite figures from my favorite physics textbook. Remember, you're battling the force of friction here. And what impacts the amount of friction that you feel and how much you need to pull can be seen in the formula F equals mu times N, or the coefficient of friction times normal force. And friction is going to depend on a number of things. The surfaces that are in contact, as we mentioned before, but also the temperature. So think about Formula One and their tires. Another thing that matters is it wet or raining? Are there leaves on the ground? Is it gravelly? So what do you think? Was this helpful? Are you going to do it? Trust me, this is a lovely combination that'll blow up your muscles, your heart, and your lungs. And it's easy to recover from. It's totally scalable, so if you're hardcore, you can do it. If you're just beginning, you can do it. I'd love to hear how this goes for you. Leave me some comments. If you got better ideas on how to improve it, I'd also love to hear that. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next time. All right. Ready? Set, go. Definitely tough. I'm warmed up now. Also, what a good lesson in inertia. More mass, more inertia.